We got a double review today, folks. We have Madagascar and Madagascar Escape to Africa because of, you get it? It's part 2. So we're doing a double review. Animated features that you guys selected that I watched with you. So let's tackle the first one. The first one came out in 2005. I can remember seeing this movie with friends when I was a junior in high school. That's right, folks. I graduated in 2006. Almost 20 years now. So anyway, this movie was directed by Tom McGrath and Eric Darnell. It has an hour and 26-minute runtime. This movie dates back to around 1999. Eric Darnell had directed the movie Ants, which I believe came out in 98. It was a twin movie to the Disney Pixar movie Bug's Life, I believe. This movie then got placed on hold for a couple of years, and it ended up getting made around 2004-ish. So let's talk about how successful movies were before streaming. This movie had a $75 million budget, and it went on to gross $556 million at the box office when it came out in 2005. It has an all-star cast: David Schwimmer, Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett Smith, just to name a few, and a musical score as well as other pop songs of the time by Hans Zimmer, which is pretty cool. I don't really have much to say about this movie. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite movie for animation of the time or just in general. To me, I found myself looking at my phone quite a bit throughout the film. But it was a watchable movie, right? Basically, do you want to talk about the premise to the movie?
The premise is that they're from New York.
Sit in the chair.
Basically.
There you go.
Man, they get stuck on an island, basically.
Madagascar.
See, the zebra wants to go to Africa, but...
And the penguins want to escape to Antarctica.
Yeah. So, they try to get there, but it's only the zebra. The rest of them have to break out of the zoo and go after him because they didn't want him to leave.
Yeah.
And then they ended up getting caught by the police, and they had to send them to Africa where they belonged, but these crazy penguins decided to get out because they were sending them to Africa. So
they take over the ship, right?
They took over the ship and took out the captain.
Yeah, and they end up on the island of Madagascar, which is off the coast of Africa.
They fall. They fell out of the boat.
Their crates float to shore, and they kind of do some parodies to the movie Castaway. In the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks has Wilson, the volleyball, and in this movie they have Spaulding. But it's funny. It's a fun movie, but is it... I don't know. I want you guys to give your review on it before I get into the in-depth reviews. What do you give this movie?
I would give it a pretty solid, like... 4 out of 5. I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's a really
4 out of 5 with him.
It's mostly funny parts in it.
So to me, the success of a movie is also determined by the box office score. Like I said, I remember seeing this movie when I was a junior in high school, but I did not recall that until I rewatched it with the boys a few days ago. The Rotten Tomato critic average is 55%. Over 50,000 audience members submitted their average, so it's 67%. IMDb is 6.9 out of 10, not bad. 499 audience members on Google, their average is 4.6 out of 5, which they're more in line with you. It was just okay for me. I'm 2 out of 5. It's not my favorite animated movie. I'm sorry, guys.
All right.
Let's jump into part 2. Madagascar Escape to Africa came out in 2008. This movie has an hour and 28-minute runtime. Same directors as the first film. Also has a soundtrack by Hans Zimmer. This movie went on to gross $603 million at the box office on a budget of $150 million, which just blows away any modern movie in the age of streaming. It was a different time, right? You wanted to go to the movies to watch a movie. Look at this. This is an ex-Blockbuster video rental copy. So it's a movie from a different time. It's crazy to think that 2008, we were still living a very 1990s lifestyle. So anyway, it was an immensely successful film. I think it was number 8 at the box office or number 6 at the box office for 2008. What are you doing? Are you doing hand signals? Let's talk about the premise of this movie and kind of what this movie's about. I like this movie better of the first 2 films.
So,
yeah.
Basically, here's what happens in this movie.
Okay.
They go on the start. They're trying to get to New York again
Yeah.
by launching the plane.
Yeah, there's a wrecked airplane from like the 1930s, and there's still skeletons inside of it. And they rebuild this airplane with bamboo and items found in the jungle.
And then they launch it.
That's the penguins, right? The penguins are like the masterminds, and they have their own separate movie, which is okay.
Yeah.
They launch it, and it ends up crashing. And the penguins end up doing a lot of stupid stuff here.
Yeah.
And then they end up. Then their engines go out. Then they crash on Africa.
Yeah.
Then they just keep.
Yeah,
Then-
my favorite part about that is like the lights blinking. They're like, "Sir," and it's out of fuel.
So they don't make it to New York City. They crash land in Africa on a nature preserve. And at the beginning of the movie, we see a flashback as to how Alex the lion, played by Ben Stiller, actually ended up in the New York City Zoo. And basically, this movie's dedicated to Bernie Sanders, the comedian. This movie also has an all-star cast. Alec Baldwin's added to the cast. Bernie Sanders voices the father, and he died before the movie was released. So R.I.P. Bernie Sanders. And you see him reunited with his family in Africa, and it's kind of a heartfelt movie. I like some of the ideals of this movie a lot. Like, you know, the hippo wants to be... She meets this other hippo, and he's like really good looking, but then he doesn't really know her true self. And you can't betray who your real friends are, which kind of will set up the premise for the next movie that we're going to review. But I like this movie a lot better. I'm still not quite a high score, but I'm higher than the other one. So let's talk about the critics' average. Rotten Tomatoes, this average is higher than the first one, 64% critic average. 66% over 250,000 audience members submitting their review. IMDb 6.6 out of 10. 228 people submitted their reviews to Google. 4.4 out of 5 is the average. What do you guys rate this movie as?
This movie was probably
4 out of 5.
You like 4 out of 5 on this one too?
yeah. I'd probably go 4 out of 5.
3. Part 3, which we're not doing.
We're not
today.
doing part 3 yet.
We're not doing.
Do we even have part 3?
No,
Okay.
we might do it.
And I am going to be 3 out of 5 on this movie. I liked it better than this movie, which the critics agreed this was a better movie. I like the story a lot better. I like the deeper meaning of this film a lot better. Than it's not all about personal appearance or your strength. It's about friendship and just coming together and the people that you care about and the people that really want to be in your life. What did you say your rating was? Are you 4 out of 5 on this one too? So that's it. Madagascar 1 and 2. I would say they're fun movies to watch with the kids, but they're just not my favorite animated movies of all time. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.